Hello, and welcome back to the show. A lot's happened since we last spoke, so grab your coffee and get ready because we are jumping right into everything that went on in Hollywood this past week. Here's what you missed. You stars Victoria Petty and Dylan Arnold were spotted together, sparking rumors that they're dating. Paris Hilton tied the knot in a star-studded wedding. Thomas Rhett and Lauren Adkins just had their fourth baby. Taylor Lautner proposed to his longtime girlfriend Taylor, making there two Taylor Lautners in one family. Taylor Swift released Red, and in her 10-minute short film featuring my man Dylan O'Brien, she reignited the rage against Jake Gyllenhaal, who, by the way, is set to revive Patrick Swayze's role in Roadhouse. Meanwhile, Leonardo DiCaprio is set to play Jim Jones in a new Jonestown movie. Jonah Hill is set to play Jerry Garcia in a Grateful Dead film, and Austin Butler will be playing Elvis in a film about his life, all while Nicole Kidman is getting shit for playing Lucille Ball. Billy Joel lost 50 pounds, Katy Perry dyed her hair black once again, Courtney and Travis are still making out very publicly, and a man attending Adele's 30 listening party has set a new standard for marriage proposals. Other than that, a ton has happened. For starters, after almost 14 years, Britney Spears is officially free. And you might be thinking that you've heard this, especially on this podcast, many times before, but each time I've said anything about Britney being free, there's been a contingency based on a few different things. Like I mentioned, her father stepped down, which was a huge step, but actually, ending a conservatorship, especially after all this time, is practically unheard of. The thought was that her father would be gone and a bank would take over her conservator of her finances and she would get control over her person, with the possible observation of a psychologist. But that's actually not what happened. Instead, this week, she was completely freed, and she's not taking it lightly. She took to social media to condemn her family, show love for her fiancé Sam, share that she wants to have another baby, and post about her sobriety break. Plus, share some partially nude photos of herself. This was the final middle finger to the situation that's now behind her, thank God. Aside from Britney being freed, the biggest headline this week was the release of Red, Taylor's version. With this came a 10-minute short film starring Dylan O'Brien, like I said, and Sadie Sink from Stranger Things. There's been a lot of speculation on who or what the short film was about. To me, it's obvious. To most, it's obvious. But if you don't agree, here are some Easter eggs to satisfy you. The age difference between Sadie and Dylan, who play the love interests in the short film, is almost the same age gap as Taylor and Jake Gyllenhaal. The F word was used in the fight scene 13 times, which is a number Taylor loves to use as an Easter egg. When we see Dylan as an older version of himself, he's portrayed by an actor named Jake, which is a subtle dig. The car in the film was a Mercedes 1989, which fans think means that she will release 1989 next. And that's just a few of them for you. You can visit the link in my show notes to hear a ton more. Now that we've talked about some really great stuff, I want to take a moment to talk about something very serious. Over the weekend, a very devastating video surfaced of former NFL player Zac Stacy assaulting his girlfriend and mother of his child in front of their child, and I'm actually not going to link the video because I watched it in full and it's one of the scariest things I've ever seen. He throws her around like a rag doll and then flees the scene. You can find the video by simply looking it up, but it's rough to watch. I'm going to give you that warning now. She says although the police arrived very shortly after, his whereabouts were unknown for quite some time and she thought that his friends were hiding him out. Since then, he has been apprehended by the police. Things like this don't usually get caught on camera, and we have to keep in mind that that does not mean that they don't happen. It's much more common than you think, and if you or someone you know needs help getting out of an abusive situation, please visit the link in my show notes. Additionally, this week, singer Chris Daughtry's daughter, Hannah, passed away at the age 25. She was found in their Nashville home, and the district's attorney office says that they believe it was a homicide. Actually, her boyfriend was arrested that same day on a completely unrelated charge, so we're still trying to find out who did this to her and what exactly happened. Daughtry and his wife are urging people to let the police to do their job, but obviously and for good reason, Daughtry has canceled all of their upcoming shows. There's not much on this case right now. Like I said, we still don't know the cause of death or who did it, but though no persons of interest have been named, it still needed to be mentioned. Lastly, of the sad headlines, Queen Elizabeth has been hospitalized. We know the royal family likes to keep it tight, but what we do know about the situation is that the Queen is 95, so she isn't exactly a spring chicken, and this isn't exactly shocking. Her stay in the hospital was short, and since she was released, she's been walking with a cane, so there's speculation she was hospitalized due to an injury. We also know that she recently lost her husband, who was 99 and has canceled all upcoming travel, which is probably for the best. We can hope that this is not something serious, but we likely won't know until news breaks. Alright, back to some lighter topics. Following rumors of engagement, Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello have called it quits. This comes 2 years after they first got together, having a hit song together and having a very cringeworthy makeout video circulating the internet. Meanwhile, Riverdale's Camila Mendes is asking people to stop thinking her social media is a Shawn and Camilla stan account, which I think is hilarious. But while Shawn and Camilla are saying bye-bye, Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson are officially saying hello. There was speculation about this relationship status after her performance on SNL and their outing at Knott's Berry Farm together, but this last week, they confirmed that it's the real deal by having a birthday party with her family for Pete. And yes, they were all in matching outfits. This means Pete Davidson and Kris Jenner were matching. Reports say that they're really happy, but I just can't help feel like I'm living in some type of weird simulation. So write into the show and let me know if you think that this is real or if this is a complete PR stunt, because a lot of people are saying it's confirmed based on the picture that's surfaced of them holding hands, but if you watch the video from the paparazzi, they actually just touch hands and then release. So what? Is he sponsoring Skims now? Is she using his SNL clout? Like, what's going on here? And just like Pete and Kim, who have many speculating what the hell is going on, Chris Evans and Selena Gomez are having fun keeping their fans guessing about their relationship status. It all started with a TikTok posted by Chris where a figure looking like Selena can be seen in the reflection. Then, following Taylor's SNL performance, Selena, who was there to support her friend, was spotted in a specific sweater. And it's so specific because it's basically the exact sweater that Chris Evans is seen wearing in Knives Out. And yes, this might be very far-fetched, but both parties are having fun watching us all scramble for one breadcrumb of evidence, and I can't blame them. Also sparking romance rumors is Bradley Cooper and his ex-wife, Irina Shayk. I swear these Hollywood stars break up just to get back together, but in this case, I'm not mad about it. And that's because they share kids together, so it's actually great news. But we can't ignore the hot mess that was Gaga swooning over Bradley and Irina's flash romance with Kanye West. People think they're back together because photos of them surfaced on a walk holding arms, but we have to remember that they are super amicable and great co-parents. Since their split, they've been spotted out a lot together, and this might just be another one of those times. I, however, choose to believe otherwise. Ending on a super high note, Paul Rudd has officially been voted People's 2021 Sexiest Man Alive, and I am here for this 1,000%. I don't know what's better, the fact that this times up perfectly with him playing a super nerdy dad in the new Ghostbusters movie, or the fact that he said himself his wife voted for Keanu Reeves as Sexiest Man Alive. That's it for this week's headlines. Don't forget you can read more details on each by clicking the link in my show notes. If you see any headlines you want covered or have thoughts on this week's, DM me on Instagram at MeganTheMorningPodcast. And I'll be back next week to catch you up on the latest pop culture news.